fún wa relé o, fún wa relé o, ire owó, ire ayọ̀, fún wa relé o. Bàbá yé gbà wá o, bàbá yé gbà wá o, fún wa lówó ṣèkẹ́ ọmọ. Bàbá yé gbà wá o, àforí ọ̀run mi lábẹ́ ọ. Ire o, ire o, àforí ọ̀run mi lábẹ́ ọ. Ire o, jẹ́ kó yẹ wá o, àtọmọdé àtàlágbà, jẹ́ kó yẹ wá o. Bàbá yé gbà wá o, bàbá yé gbà wá o, fún wa lówó ṣèkẹ́ ọmọ. Bàbá yé gbà wá o, àforí ọ̀run mi lábẹ́ ọ. Ire o, ire o, àforí ọ̀run mi lábẹ́ ọ. Ire o. Àbọ̀rú, àbọ̀yè, àbọ̀yè bọ́ ṣíṣẹ, ogbó atọ́, àsúre, ìwòrèwò fún. Ọ̀rúnmìlà yí ọ̀tẹ̀ kú lè jẹ́ àgbọ̀n nírè. Ifá mi orí agbémi débi ire. Olórí Torofíní gbé Torofíní débi ire. Wọ́n fi Torofíní jẹ lọ́jẹ̀ láwùjọ àwọn ọmọ eku. Ìgbà ọmọ eku ń péjọ, wọ́n kí Torofíní kú oríire. Ọ̀rúnmìlà yí ọ̀tẹ̀ kú lè jẹ́ àgbọ̀n nírè. Ifá mi orí agbémi débi ire. Olórí àkàràbá gbé àkàràbá débi ire láwùjọ àwọn ọmọ ẹja. Ó ní wọ́n fi àkàràbá jẹ lọ́jà láwùjọ àwọn ọmọ ẹja. Ìgbà ọmọ ẹja péjọ, wọ́n kí kú oríire. Ọ̀rúnmìlà yí ọ̀tẹ̀ kú lè jẹ́ àgbọ̀n nírè. Ifá mi orí agbémi débi ire. Olórí ọ̀kín ló gbé ọ̀kín débi ire láwùjọ àwọn ọmọ ẹyẹ. Ó ní ìgbà ọmọ ẹyẹ péjọ, wọ́n kí kú oríire. Wọ́n fi ọ̀kín jẹ lọ́jà láwùjọ àwọn ọmọ ẹyẹ. Ọ̀rúnmìlà yí ọ̀tẹ̀ kú lè jẹ́ àgbọ̀n nírè. Ifá mi orí agbémi débi ire. Ó ní orí kìnìún ló gbé kìnìún débi ire láwùjọ àwọn ọmọ ẹran. Ó ní wọ́n fi kìnìún jẹ lọ́jà láwùjọ àwọn ọmọ ẹran. Ó ní ìgbà ọmọ ẹran péjọ, wọ́n kí kìnìún kú oríire. Ọ̀rúnmìlà yí ọ̀tẹ̀ kú lè jẹ́ àgbọ̀n nírè. Ifá mi orí agbémi débi ire. Ó ní orí òdùsọ̀ pàǹpà ló gbé débi ire láwùjọ àwọn ọmọ ikin. Ó ní wọ́n fi jọ lọ́jà láwùjọ àwọn ọmọ ikin. Ó ní ìgbà ọmọ ikin péjọ, wọ́n kí òdùsọ̀ kú oríire. Ọ̀rúnmìlà yí ọ̀tẹ̀ kú lè jẹ́ àgbọ̀n nírè. Ifá mi orí agbémi débi ire. Olórí ọ̀kànbí lèǹjẹ ló gbé ọ̀kànbí débi ire láwùjọ àwọn ọmọ ẹni. Ó ní wọ́n fi ọ̀kànbí jẹ lọ́jà láwùjọ àwọn ọmọ ẹni. Ó ní ìgbà ọmọ ẹni péjọ, wọ́n kí ọ̀kànbí kú oríire. Wọ́n ní ọ̀kànbí mà ti wá jẹ lọ́jà nígbà yìí ó, kí wájú wa kún kẹ̀yìn aya tì. Mo ṣe ní ìwúre, orí wa yóò gbé wa débi ire. Orí wa ò ní gbàbọ̀dè, ìṣẹ̀dá wa ò ní gbàbí. Láṣẹ àwọn tó nílé ayé, láṣẹ Ọlọ́run Ọba Olódùmarè, gbogbo bá ṣe ń fẹ́ kó rí, èyí ò rí bẹ́ẹ̀ fún wa. Lágbára Ọlọ́run Ọba Olódùmarè. I venerate our destiny will not be manipulated. Our destiny shall take us to higher positions amongst our colleagues by the power of Olódùmarè. So shall it be. Ọ̀rúnmìlà yóò di òfúnlẹ̀. Ifá mi ẹrù wúwo bára mi àgbọn lè gún. Ó ní kí mú nǹkan ju ọgbọ ẹrù tó wúwo wá. Mo ní eku méjì olùmúwéré. Ọ̀rúnmìlà ní kò ń ṣohun ojú ẹbọ. Ọ̀rúnmìlà yóò di òfúnlẹ̀. Ifá mi ẹrù wúwo bára mi àgbọn lè gún. Ó ní kí mú nǹkan ju ẹbọ rẹ̀ wá. Mo ní ẹja méjì abìrùgbàdà. Ọ̀rúnmìlà ní kò ń ṣohun ojú ẹbọ. Mo ní obídìyà abèdọ̀ lùkẹ́lùkẹ́. Ọ̀rúnmìlà ní kò ń ṣohun ojú ẹbọ. Mo ní ewúrẹ́ abomú rẹ́dẹ́rẹ́dẹ́. Ọ̀rúnmìlà ní kò ń ṣohun ojú ẹbọ. Àgbò abìjọjọ lọ́rùn. Ọ̀rúnmìlà ní kò ń ṣohun ojú ẹbọ. Mo ní ògbó erin ńlá amúwo ṣoṣùká lórí. Ọ̀rúnmìlà yóò lé ní mo rì. Ó ló kọrin jíjẹ ni mo yà sí. Mo ní Ọ̀rúnmìlà mo jẹ́wọ́ ọ̀bọ̀ kó dá mi láṣọró. Èmi ò mọ ohun tá máa fi rúbọ tí ẹrù tó wúwo ká fi lọlẹ̀. Olódẹ tó lóbì méjì, olódẹ tó nígbà omi tútù, olódẹ tó ní àpàlàbà ọtí. Ọ̀rúnmìlà àti wárí amúdé. Ó ní ṣé mi mọ̀ kó bí a máa bí kú, òbí a máa bí àrùn, a máa bí òfò, a máa bí dànù kúrò lórí ẹni. Olómi tútù, ó lájẹ́ kẹ́ni jayé ìrọ̀rùn, kẹ́ni jayé ayé pẹ̀sẹ̀pẹ̀sẹ̀ bó ṣe ní ìwúre àní bá wọn jayé ìgbóná àní bá wọn jayé ilé ayé ẹ̀rọ̀ la bá wọn jẹ ayé ìrọ̀rùn la bá wọn jẹ gbogbo ogun ikú wàhálà ìdààmú òfò lágbára Ọlọ́run bá Olódùmarè kò ní jẹ́ tiwa bí yóò dẹ̀ ṣe rí nìyẹn gbogbo tá a bá ti dáwọ́lé yóò máa yọrí sí rere láṣẹ Ọlọ́run bá Olódùmarè. Àbọ̀rú àbọ̀yè once again àbọ̀yè bọ́ ṣiṣẹ́ ogbó atọ́ àsúre ìwòrì wò fún. My name is Babalawo Olarewaju Ifa Damilare. Today, I quickly want to remind us of what we are lacking or of what we lacked in the year 2025. What do we lack? Spiritual consciousness. Spiritual consciousness. Spiritual awakening. Spiritual awakening. A lot of us are living our life based on the information given to us by our masters, by our mistress, by our slave masters and slave mistress. In as much you are an African man, in as much you are an African woman, you are not meant to be overthrown by the slave masters, because your ancestors, your forefathers have been overthrown by them. I come again. I want you to understand my point. In as much you are an African child, in as much you are from Africa, you are not meant to be controlled by your slave masters. You are not meant to be ruled by your slave masters, because your ancestors, that is the people who have the opportunity to live before you, the people who have the opportunity to exist before you, have been controlled by them. So therefore, you need to be spiritually awakened. You need to be spiritually conscious in order for you to regain your spiritual consciousness. No matter what you are doing, if you are not spiritually conscious, you are bound to fail. No matter what you are doing, if you are not spiritually awakened, if you are not spiritually conscious, you are bound to fail. You need to know who you are. You need to know why you are existing. It's very important to your spiritual growth. 95% of humans living here on earth today, they are living their life based on the syllabus of their slave masters. What is the syllabus of their slave masters? The syllabus of their slave masters is written in the Bible given to them. The syllabus of their slave masters is written in the Quran given to them. And what does the Quran say? What does the Bible say? Thou should not worship any other gods. Thou should forgive. Thou should do this. Thou should not do this. Thou should walk like this. Thou should not walk like this. That is the syllabus given to you as an African child by your slave masters. And there is no way you will continue to follow this syllabus. Your journey is going to be a religious journey. If you are following the syllabus of your slave masters, your journey on earth is going to be a religious journey. And there is a difference between religion and spirituality. There is a difference between religions and spirituality. So 95% of African child today are religious, but they are not into spirituality. So therefore, there is tendency for failure. Because everybody wants to be like a white man. You as an African child, a brown skin child, you want to use a bleaching cream to take away the brown skin in the brown color on your skin, so that you can achieve the white color, so people can see you as Oyibo. That is failure. You want people to see you that you have the same color as Oyibo. That is failure. No matter what you do to look like Oyibo, you cannot be like Oyibo, because the design of your face, the design of your head, your ear, everything is African. Even the hair that grows in your head cannot be like Oyibo unless you are a mixed race. So therefore, you always need to take note to acknowledge that you are an African. And in as much you are an African, you need to be spiritually awakened, not religiously. A lot of people, 50 years old man, 50 years old woman, 60 years, 65 years, 70 years, as we speak, they have never prayed to their ancestors. They have never prayed to their creator for once. In terms of spirituality. But they believe they are praying every day. They go to church, they fast, they pray. That is what they believe. But spiritually, there is no connection, there is no relationship between them and their creator. That is why you are experiencing failure. That is why you are experiencing backwardness. That is why you are experiencing stagnation. Let me take you to Oduifa Obara Oyeku. Obara Oyeku is one of the 256 Oduifa. What does Obara Oyeku says? Orumile kolo Obara ba mi bekmi. Ifá mi kolo Obara ba mi bekmi bara mi agboniregun. Ó ní kí wọ́n sọ fún aláwòrò Ògún kó lọ rèé bẹ ìpín rẹ̀. Ó ní ìgbà náà ni Ògún máa kọjú ègbè sí. Ọ̀rúnmìlà kọ́ lọ̀bàrà bá mi bẹ̀pín, Ifá mi kọ́ lọ̀bàrà bá mi bẹ̀pín bára mi àgbọnnìrègún. Ó ní kí wọ́n sọ fún aláwòrò Ọ̀já kó lọ rèé bẹ ìpín rẹ̀. Ó ní ìgbà náà ni ìpín máa kọjú ní Ọ̀já máa kọjú ègbè sí. Ọ̀rúnmìlà kọ́ lọ̀bàrà bá mi bẹ̀pín, Ifá mi kọ́ lọ̀bàrà bá mi bẹ̀pín bára mi àgbọnnìrègún. Ó ní kí wọ́n sọ fún aláwòrò Ọ̀ṣun kó lọ rèé bẹ ìpín rẹ̀ kí Ọ̀ṣun bá lè kọjú ègbè sí. Ó ní bẹ́ẹ̀ ni kí wọ́n sọ fún ọmọ akápò tòun rèé àlọ́ àbẹni tí wọ́n ṣọwọ́ gédégédé dáwò fún kó lọ rí bẹ ìpín rẹ̀ kó lè kọjú ègbè sí. What does that imply? What does that mean? Obara Oyeku. Kí Ọlọ́bàrà kó lọ bẹ ìpín, that is, Ọlọ́bàrà should go and beg his Ori. Once Ọlọ́bàrà have a relationship with his or her Ori, then all the goodness of nature will come to Ọlọ́bàrà. But you that is watching me, When was the last time did you make an appeasement to your Hori? Appeasing your Hori is spirituality. Appeasing your Hori is spirituality. Going to church and your pastor is telling you to keep praying, eating your Hori, just to ask somebody from Israel to give you something, is religion. That is, you are in church and they are calling prayer points. Orí mi o, má gbàbọ̀dì, orí mi o, má ṣe gbá, orí mi o, má ṣàwo, igbá, àwo, kìíní. It's all about religion. You have been doing that not today, it's been a long time. What have you been able to achieve through the process? That is the question you need to ask yourself. Through the year 2025, from January to today, today 29th of December, you know the activities you involve yourself in your religious places. What have you been able to achieve? Does being religious stop your children from being unfruitful? No. The pride of every parent, the pride of every mother, the pride of every father is to see their children growing up in a proper way. But today, as a Christian, your children are smokers. Today, as a Christian, your children are drunkards. Today, as a pastor, your daughter is into prostitution. Today, as a pastor, your son is into fraud. Yahoo, yahoo. So what is the essence of the religion you are into? That is the question you need to ask yourself as a Christian. That is the question you also need to ask yourself as a Muslim. Everything you are doing is religion. You need to come back to spirituality. So if your purpose of existence is based on religion, you had failed already, because religion will never take you to anywhere. The people you see as your leader in the religious organization, the people you see as a mentor in the religious organization, surprisingly, they are into spirituality. Unknowingly to you, they are into spirituality, because it is the spirituality that will take them to the higher position they actually want to be. So therefore, you need to be awakened. You need to be conscious of yourself. You need to be spiritually awakened. You need to be spiritually conscious. You, as a human, you are taking the wrong step at the wrong time. You, as an African, you are not doing the right thing. Yes, I understand the fact that you are exposed because you have the opportunity to stay in your slave master's country. That is your pride. You are living in America. It's a very good thing for you. You are living in the United Kingdom. That is your pride. You are living in Canada. That is your pride. You have a Schengen visa. That is your pride. But remember, Africa is the greatest soil on health. Africa is the best soil on health. The African soil is the best soil. In as much you come from this African soil, the blood that flows through your vein, in as much is an African blood, my brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, you cannot run away from your shadow. You cannot run away from your shadow. So you always need to take note, to acknowledge the essence of your existence. You always need to take note to acknowledge your ancestors. It's very, 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 very important. Ọ̀rúnmìlà yóò di àsùntì, Ifámọ́ ló di àsùnjí, Báràmí Àgbọnnìrègún. That is ọdún Ifá ìdí ìrosùn. Ó ní kí wọ́n sọ fún Aláwòrò Ògún kó máa sùn, kó máa jí nídìí ògùn rẹ̀. Ó ní ìgbà náà ni Ògún máa kọjú ègbè sí. Ọ̀rúnmìlà yóò di àsùntì, Ifámọ́ ló di àsùnjí, Báràmí Àgbọnnìrègún. Ó ní kí wọ́n sọ fún Aláwòrò Òjá kó máa sùn, kó máa jí nídìí òjá rẹ̀. Ó ní ìgbà náà ni òjá máa kọjú ègbè sí. Ọ̀rúnmìlà yóò di àsùntì, Ifámọ́ ló di àsùnjí, Báràmí Àgbọnnìrègún. Ó ní kí wọ́n sọ fún Aláwòrò Ọ̀ṣun Ṣẹ̀gẹ̀ṣẹ́ kó máa sùn, kó máa jí nídìí Ọ̀ṣun. Ó ní ìgbà náà ni Ọ̀ṣun máa kọjú ègbè sí. Ó ní kí wọ́n sọ fún ọmọ Akápò tòun Èrìgì Àlọ́ kó máa sùn, kó máa jí nídìí òun Ifá. Ó ní ìgbà náà ló máa kọjú ègbè sí. So a lot of people that are meant to be spiritually awakened before their ancestors, before the Creator, they are nowhere to be found. They are into religion. And at the end of the day, everything they do, it might be very good in the morning, it might be very sweet in the afternoon, but towards the evening, they realize they are not doing the best. In the evening, they realize a lot of mistakes. Then they tag it to witches and wizards. I have to be very honest with you, my audience. 99% of the problem we have today are self-caused problems. That is a problem we caused by ourselves. But the problem we have as a Nigerian, the problem we have as an African is we do not want to admit that we are wrong. There is nothing that happens to us that the ancestors do not know about. There is nothing that happens to us that the Creator is not aware of. But when you do not have a relationship with the Creator, what do you expect? If you are into religion, you will only go to church to dance, to sing. If you have big bum bum, you dance, you throw your bum bum. People will see that, oh, this woman has a big bum bum. If you are the type that drink, after drinking, you go to church, you dance. People say, oh, this man is dancing. That is what religion is all about, merriment. But spirituality is only you and your Creator. You invest in this business, you fail. You apply for this, you fail. You want to do this, you fail. You want to do that, you fail. Your children want to do this, there is failure. Your daughter want to, there's all these things are self-caused problem. If you are spiritually awakened, failure is not part of your journey. If you are spiritually awakened, failure is not part of your journey. I know a lot of you, all you want is all these people that used to do charm, do juju, oshole, eyonu, igba, awo, they should send you medicine that you can use to boost your spiritual life. There is no medicine that can boost your spiritual life. Spiritual life, spiritual consciousness is all about determination. It's all about dedication. It's all about self-decision. Without self-decision, you cannot be spiritually awakened. So no matter the Eyonu, no matter the Awure, no matter the Oshole they send to you from Nigeria to abroad, I use take a what is it called? Shinap. Use this one to take it, bath this one in the morning, but they are only deceiving you. You are just being deceived. In fact, you are deceiving yourself. They are deceiving you. Both of you are deceiving you. Everybody is deceiving themselves. So if you are spiritually awakened, if you have a relationship with your ancestors, you actually do not have a problem. You actually do not have a problem. That is the mistake you made from January 1st till December 29, 2025. So I am actually calling your attention to spiritual awakening for you to know where you got it wrong. If, however, you do not achieve your purpose in this year 2025, if you do not achieve your purpose, if you do not achieve your aim, your vision in this year 2025, just know that there's no witches and wizards stopping you. It's all about self-determination. It's all about the decision you are making or the decision you made. Spiritual awakening. You need to understand that your ancestors are rightly behind you, but they want your approval. Who are your ancestors? Your father, your mother, your grandfather, your grandmother, your great-grandfather, your great-grandmother, and so on and so forth. The people who have the opportunity to live here on earth before you are known to be your ancestors. Now let's go to Odùifá Ògbèrèkúsá. Ọ̀rúnmìlà yóò dé òtìrí pópó níjọyìn. Ifá mo ní ara odò alẹ̀ ló máa bá ní ṣe. That is a deep words. Òtìrí pópó níjọyìn. Ara odò alẹ̀ ló máa bá ní ṣe. Mo ní ara odò alẹ̀ wo ló ń bá ní ṣe tó ń gún régé. Ó ní ọlọ́ta nílé adó. Ọ̀rúnmìlà ní kò ṣe ọlọ́ta nílé adó. Ọ̀rúnmìlà yóò dé òtìrí pópó níjọyìn. Ifá mo ní ara odò alẹ̀ ló máa bá ní ṣe. Ó ní ara odò alẹ̀ wo ni mo mọ̀ tó ń bá ní ṣe tó ń yọrí sí rere. Mo lè rí mi lóde ọ̀wọ̀. Ọ̀rúnmìlà ní kò tí ń ṣe rí mi lóde ọ̀wọ̀. Ọ̀rúnmìlà yóò dé òtìrí pópó níjọyìn. Ifá mo ní ara odò alẹ̀ ló máa bá ní ṣe. Mo ní ara odò alẹ̀ wo ló ń bá ní ṣe tó ń gúnrégé. Ó ní Aláàfin lálẹ̀dẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́. Ọ̀rúnmìlà ní kò ti ṣaláàtì. Ó ní kò ṣaláàfin. Mo ní Ọ̀ọ̀ni lálẹ̀kọ ìṣúrú. Ìyẹn Ọ̀ọ̀ni Òtúfẹ̀. Ó ní kò ń ṣọ̀ọ̀ni. Mo lọ Ọ̀rúnmìlà mo jẹ́wọ́ Ògún dá mi láṣọrò. Èmi ò mọ ẹni tó máa bá ní ṣe tó máa fi gúnrégé. Mi ò mọ ẹni tó máa bá ní ṣe tá fi yọrí sí rere. Ó ní àfi bàbá ẹni tàbí ìyá ẹni tó ti fini sílẹ̀ sí ayé lọ. Ó láwọn ló tó bá ní ṣe tó ń gúnrégé. Mo lọ Ọ̀rúnmìlà tó bá ṣe bí ti bàbá ẹni kí là á fi ṣe. Olódẹni tó ní àgbá àgùntàn tó fi bo bàbá rẹ̀. Mo ní tá bá ti wá rí ta mo dé kọ́. É ṣe kàṣà ìbójú wẹ̀yìn, kàṣà ìbójú wẹ̀yìn, òkú ọlọ́mọ yọyọ, kàṣà ìbójú wẹ̀yìn. That is Odùifá Ògbèrèkúsá. What is the meaning of òtìrí pópó níjọyìn? Ara odò alẹ̀ ló máa bá ní ṣe. That is when there is problem, when there is trouble, when there is tribulations, who actually can we run to? I ask Ọ̀rúnmìlà. Ọ̀rúnmìlà asked me, sorry to say, Ọ̀rúnmìlà asked me, when there is problem, when there is trouble, when there is tribulation, who actually can we run to? I said, Ọ̀rúnmìlà, we should run to Ọlọ́ta nílé Adó. Who is Ọlọ́ta nílé Adó? That is the king of Adó Ekiti. We call him Ewi Adó. Ọ̀rúnmìlà responded, he said, that king does not have the spiritual power to solve the problem. Ọ̀rúnmìlà says, when there is problem, when there is trouble, when there is tribulation, who actually can we run to? I said, Erimi in the land of Ọ̀wọ̀, or Erimi lóde Ọ̀wọ̀. That is the king of Ọ̀wọ̀ town. Ọ̀rúnmìlà says, the king of Ọ̀wọ̀ do not actually possess the energy to solve the problem. I said it is the Aláàfin lálẹ̀dẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́, that is Aláàfin in the land of Ọ̀yọ́. Ọ̀rúnmìlà says Aláàfin does not actually possess the energy. I said it is the Ọọ̀ni alálẹ̀kọ ìṣúrú, that is Ọọ̀ni in the land of Ife. Ọ̀rúnmìlà says he doesn't possess the energy. I said, Ọ̀rúnmìlà, I have come to confess. Mo ti jẹ́wọ́ Ògún dá mi láṣọrò. Ọ̀rúnmìlà says it is one's father and one's mother who had lived here on earth and depart. They are the ones that have the spiritual energy to solve the problem. So therefore, a lot of you today are suffering yourself. Let me use that word. You are giving yourself unwanted problem. You are putting yourself into problem all by yourself. Why? Because you do not acknowledge your ancestors. Most problems you are facing today, the solutions lies in the hands of your father. Most problem you are facing today, the solution lies in the hands of your mother, either alive or not alive. But you have to take note to remember that it is when our parents leave this earth, when they leave this planet earth, when they depart, that is when they have more power to help us, the children. But today, once your father died, that is the end. You do not care about your father anymore. Today, once your mother died, you do not care about your mother anymore. You believe they are there, so they should just be buried and you forget them, especially those of you in diaspora. The Western orientation you guys possess is actually affecting you, but you guys don't know. Too much of Western orientation is a problem to an African child. That is why today, you as a parent in diaspora, you as a father in diaspora, you as a mother in diaspora, when you wake up, you see your children, the way they are growing, you isolate yourself and cry, because that is not what you actually dream of. A 16-year-old boy, a 50-year-old boy calling police for his father, for his mother, because they do not allow him to do whatever he wants to do. Why? Because he's living in America. I am very ashamed of you people. Very, very ashamed. You know you are not living the best life, but you are only covering your shame because you are living in America. You are covering your shame because you are living in Canada. In fact, we have now modernized everything, the way our children behave. If African child, a child that is carrying African blood, the way they behave, we do not see anything wrong with it. A Yoruba boy cannot speak Yoruba. It's all about American English, British accent, Canadian accent, and we are very happy with it. We are losing it little by little, and we have been losing it for a very long time. Spiritual awakening, spiritual consciousness. In whatever we sow, we shall reap. So whatever you do to your parents, take note, your children will also repeat that same thing to you. Life is not a Nollywood. Life is not a Bollywood. Life is not an American movie. Whatever you plant is what you are going to reap. So you have to take note. You have to start taking the right step in order for you to have a befitting end at the end of your journey here on earth. All of us are here on a journey. The world you are living today is a marketplace. What I am saying, it is very rare for you to see a Babalawo that will tell you all this, because every Babalawo is after making money, especially on social media. It is very rare. You cannot see a Babalawo that will tell you all this, because due to their lack of exposure, once they have the opportunity to come online, they misbehave. I am telling you from the bottom of my heart, the right information from the Creator. Ọ̀rúnmìlà yóò wí ìgbà òwúrọ̀, Ifá mi yóò wí ìgbà òwúrọ̀, bára mi àgbọnnìrègún. That is Ìdí Ìlẹ̀kẹ̀. Ó ní kí wọ́n sọ fún Aláwòrò Ògún ọ̀rọ̀ tí Ògún rẹ̀ bá sọ ní kùtùkùtù òwúrọ̀ kó mọ́ gbàgbé. A lot of you are forgotten why you are growing up. You are actually born in Nigeria. You are born in Enugu State. You are born in Aroshuku. You are born in Ibadan. You are born in Akure. You are born now because you are in diaspora. You feel nobody can talk to you again. My brother and sisters, we are all deceiving ourselves. We are deceiving ourselves. So we have to call ourselves into consciousness. Ọ̀rúnmìlà yóò wí ìgbà òwúrọ̀, Ifá mi yóò wí ìgbà òwúrọ̀, bára mi àgbọnnìrègún. Ó ní kó ń sọ fún Aláwòrò Ògún ọ̀rọ̀ tí Ògún rẹ̀ bá sọ ní kùtùkùtù òwúrọ̀ ọjọ́ kó má gbàgbé. Ó ní tí ò bá ti gbàgbé, ó ní Ògún ò ní gbàgbé rẹ̀. Ọ̀rúnmìlà yóò wí ìgbà òwúrọ̀, Ifá mi yóò wí ìgbà òwúrọ̀, bára mi àgbọnnìrègún. Ó ní kó ń sọ fún Aláwòrò Ọjà ọ̀rọ̀ tí Ọjà bá sọ ní kùtùkùtù òwúrọ̀ ọjọ́ kó má gbàgbé. Ó ní tí ò bá ti gbàgbé, ó ní Ọjà ò ní gbàgbé rẹ̀. Ó ní bẹ́ẹ̀ ni Aláwòrò Ọ̀ṣun. Ó ní bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ọmọ akápò tòun èrìgì àlọ́ àbẹ tó bá ṣọwọ́ gínígíní dáhùn fún. Ó lọ́rọ̀ tóun bá àwọn ọmọ tòun sọ, ó ní kí wọ́n bá wọn sọ kó má gbàgbé. because Ọ̀rúnmìlà gan ti rí pé a ti ń gbàgbé, a ti ń sọnù, we are not even living the normal life that we are designed to live. Èṣe tí ológbò ọ̀jẹ̀jẹ̀rẹ́ o, ohun mo bá ọ fọ̀ mo mọ̀ gbàgbé o. Etí ológbò ọ̀jẹ̀jẹ̀rẹ́ o, ohun mo bá ọ fọ̀ mo mọ̀ gbàgbé o. Etí ológbò ọ̀jẹ̀jẹ̀rẹ́ o, ohun mo bá ọ fọ̀ mo mọ̀ gbàgbé o. Etí ológbò ọ̀jẹ̀jẹ̀rẹ́ o, ohun mo bá ọ fọ̀ mo mọ̀ gbàgbé o. Etí ológbò ọ̀jẹ̀jẹ̀rẹ́ o, ohun mo bá ọ fọ̀ mo mọ̀ gbàgbé o. A lot of you, your father is speaking to you in your dreams. You wake up, you do not remember. Your mother, who died a few years ago, is actually talking to you. She is actually passing a message across to you. But when you wake up, you do not remember. Due to your spiritual unconsciousness, you are not conscious spiritually, you are not awakening spiritually. You are only into religious activities. This step is affecting you. Once you are affected, it will also affect your children. Whatever decision you are taking today, always remember that you have kids that look up to you. You have children. If you fail, your children are also bound to fail. It is not Ogun Aye, it is not Ogun Ota, it is not because my father is a polygamous man. It is no. Your father can be a polygamous man, and yet all the children that come through your father are all successful. Why? Because your father is spiritually awakened. When you fail today, you always want to have a reason for your failure. Oh, because my father has 2 wives. Oh, because my father has 3 wives. So the one wife, somebody told me that the first wife is a witch. So she's the witch that is affecting the other. No! That is eton. That is deceit. Eton. We are deceiving ourselves. Ọ̀rúnmìlà yẹ ẹ̀tàn dẹ̀rẹ̀ ní rè ifá mi ẹ̀tàn jẹ́. Ó ní kó sọ f'Aláwòrò Ògún kó má tan Ògún rẹ̀. Ọ̀rúnmìlà yẹ ẹ̀tàn dẹ̀rẹ̀ ní rè ifá mi ẹ̀tàn jẹ́. Ó ní kó sọ f'Aláwòrò Ọjà kó má tan ọjà rẹ̀. So a lot of you are deceiving yourself. But unfortunately, you do not actually know that you are deceiving yourself. The people you are seeing as a mentor, your pastors, your this, your that, they come to us. We make divination for them, we pray for them, they achieve success, they achieve greatness. But you, if they tell you, go and make divination, oh, you are going to a fire. If they tell you, go and appease your Ori, oh, your pastor say you will go to a fire. If they tell you, go and appease your ancestors, oh, your pastor say you go to a fire. You need to be spiritually awakened. Stop deceiving yourself. Stop deceiving yourself. Enough of that deceit. Enough. Enough. If you are to think about your children, enough of that deceit. If you are to think about your future, enough of that deceit. It's very important. Ọ̀rúnmìlà yóò di àjíkí bàbá ẹni, Fámọ́ di àjíkí bàbá ẹni, Báràmí Agbónirègún. Ó ní kí wọ́n sọ f'Aláwòrò Ògún tó bá ti jí ní kùtùkùtù òwúrọ̀ kó máa jí kí Ògún rẹ̀. Ó ní ìgbà náà l'Ògún máa kọjú ègbè sí. So a lot of you women, naturally you are meant to be under a man who is initiated into Ifá. But because the man that even got married to you, he does not even have knowledge of anything. He was raised through religion. You too, as a woman, you are raised through religion, so no information, nobody to tell you what is right. And actually, you now eventually fall into a trap of a fake pastors and everybody, they just collecting money from you. You think you are into religion. No. Why do women do not have husband? Why do women don't stay husband out? Why do husband cannot control woman for 3 years? Because there is no spirituality. Everybody is into religion. Even the pastors you guys are running to, they cannot even maintain their homes. They cannot maintain their homes. Several pastors have divorced today, and you see them as your mentor. So we all need to come to reality. We all need to be spiritually awakened to know what is good for us. What is good for me might be very bad for you. That is about spirituality. What is bad for me might be very good for you. Because everybody has different destiny. Your ability to understand, your ability to know who you are, your ability to know what you possess is what we are talking about here. Not going to church every Sunday, singing, praying, dancing. No, that is religious activities. So I say this and I will stop for now. I hope my message meets you at the right time. I hope my message do not offend you. I hope you do not take it personal. Thank you very much. My name remains Babalawo Olariwaju Ifadamilare. Remember, in a few days' time, we'll enter into a new year. You have to take your spirituality very important. Stay away from religious activities. You have to be more spiritually conscious in order for you to fulfill your destiny here on earth. Your children have to be more spiritually conscious in order for them to fulfill their destiny here on earth. Thank you very much. Aboru, Aboye, Aboye, Boshishe, Ogbo, Ato, Asure, Ewolofun. Thank you.